peaceful coastal river in the rainforest of British Columbia, a grizzly sow and her cubs are in search of food. While she dredges the bottom of the river for a meal after the salmon run, she keeps a watchful eye for danger. Although she is a protective mother, there is one danger she cannot safeguard her cubs from. Overwhelming scientific evidence shows that human activities are causing the climate to change. In northwestern Canada, winters are warmer, snowpack in the mountains is less, flora and fauna are changing growth patterns, and drought and flooding are increasingly occurring. These factors have serious consequences for Canada's big game animals.
Everything in nature is affected by and will be affected by climate change, certainly including big game animals. For the most part, in our part of the world, it's good news for the animals that we tend to think of as big game animals, because usually the biggest mortality factor for big game animals is severe winters. And as the severity of the winters decreases, the ability of animals to survive through the winter improves. However, nothing's ever simple. For one thing, some animals rely on really heavy winters to protect them from predators, and that would include things like moose and caribou that rely on heavy snow, deep snow, to inhibit the ability of things like wolves and cougars to travel around and hunt them. So the same factors that make it easier to live through the winter for the ungulates also improves the hunting success of their prey.
The elk's mountain habitat is seeing reduced snowfall in winter, causing powerful shifts in alpine plant and bird communities. This shift is impacting the elk's ability to stay at high elevations, forcing them to lower elevations, which opens them to increased predation and hunting. The resulting increasing densities of resident elk populations also have the potential for increased transmission of disease. The wood bison is the largest land mammal in North America, and climate change is impacting the traditional home range of the bison, the grasslands. Future grasslands will experience hotter temperatures, longer growing seasons, and more variable precipitation. Many hot years in succession cause grasses to produce less protein and grazers to put on less weight, and thinner bison are less successful at reproducing. Rising waters linked to climate change are also having an unforeseen impact on the bison. In the Northwest Territories, bison struggle to find food in its core habitat as the landscape experiences unprecedented flooding.
Different animals are affected by climate change in different ways, so it's hard to say which is going to be the most impacted as this climate continues to evolve. Certainly caribou are in trouble. Caribou are facing huge problems because of how we fragmented their landscape that they live in, opened up the forests, removed some of their best feeding areas, and created more access for predators. So they're really on the ropes in many parts of northern Canada and western Canada, and climate change will not help.
Climate change is causing a considerable reduction in the average snowpack in the mountains. And with an earlier annual melt of the snowpack, it negatively impacts food and water sources for the bighorn sheep. Another impact for bighorns is the decrease in carnivorous trees due to bark beetle infestations caused by warming winters. The most common big game animal in Canada is deer. Extreme weather Disease and changes in habitat are potentially climate-driven stressors on deer. In northwestern Canada, deer seek out winter shelter from wind, extreme cold, and deep snow, and these habitats are shrinking in size. Deer are also vulnerable to disease, usually killed by freezing temperatures as winter temperatures rise. Back in the rainforest, the grizzly family have found plenty of food at the bottom of the river. Dead salmon litter the river after swimming upstream to spawn and die. Climate change is causing the biggest impact to Canada's wildlife. With fisheries on the decline, it's not known how long this critical food source will be available to the coastal grizzly population.
We built an awful lot of our certainties and our assumptions around the idea that the world will always be the way it's always been, and it won't be.